Humility, humility, humility. Yeah, let me just read a little bit of the scripture from it. For those folks that don't want to get into the religious part, let me just read this in the beginning. Folks ain't watching right now, so it's all good. Humility. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as little children, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Lord, thou shalt hast heard the desire of the humble. Thou wilt prepare the heart. Thou wilt cause thine ear to hear. The first one is Matthew 18, verse 4. Second one is Psalms 10, 17. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Matthew 23:12. There you go. Humility. Another one is, better is it to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoils with the proud. Proverbs 16:19. Thank you for the one person that's here. But he giveth more grace. Wherefore saith God, resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. James 4:6. Let me see if there's any other ones. Appreciate folks for being here, coming through. By humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life. Proverbs 22:4. Let me see. What's going on? What's going on, Cheryl? Appreciate you for coming through. The fear of the Lord is instruction of wisdom, and for honor is humility. Proverbs 15:33. Okay, here's one. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the spirit and humble. Proverbs 29:23. Um, yeah. And then also the last one, it says, humble yourself, therefore, under the hand of mighty God, that he may exalt you in due time. Well, the reason I read all that and went through that, for those folks that stayed through that in the beginning, which I don't know if folks are going to get into that, is because humility, is necessary. Folks are not as wise as, you know, they would like to believe sometimes. I'm not as wise as I would like to be. Maybe I need to be a little bit more humble or humble, just period at all. So it comes to a situation where, your pride can bring you low. It can be a situation where, you find yourself being degraded because you're degrading other people. The karma comes around back to you. It's just different things when it comes to understanding humility. Is that, you know, as much as we may think about ourselves, and as highly as we may put ourselves, like I said earlier, as far as the whole being entitled thing, it's never good to be entitled. That's what I said earlier in the day. And this goes along with, not being entitled. It's important to have humility because at any time, fortunes change. At any time, things are different, from what, folks may believe. I mean, sometimes, you may be in a situation or position of power, and then you may find yourself, in a lowlier situation where, what, you lost it all, because you were just so proud, you were so boastful, you're so high-minded. Like I said, I know this isn't for everybody, so I don't expect everybody to get in on this. But like I said, I'm just saying for me personally, I don't know about you, I'm not as wise as I would like to be. I try to exercise humility, I exercise modesty and stuff like that in who I am and how I present myself because I know I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers. And I apologize if I come off that way to people, just, let it be known, that I have an opinion, strong opinions, strong search for the truth, for things that are real in life, and try to be as straightforward as possible. And I know sometimes it may come off abrasive, it may come off as, condescending, it may come off in different ways, but that's not my premise. That's not where I come from. That's not who I am. Anybody that knows me, it's not easy to do, however important. Agree. Yeah, Cheryl. I mean, I believe that, humility is necessary because it keeps us in check. It really puts us in a standpoint where, you constantly modestly self-effacing and whatnot. Don't put yourself too high because things can change at a moment's notice. You may think that you got it all figured out. Oh, and for the people here, I would appreciate the thumbs up. I appreciate that if you feel like it, if you so feel like giving a thumbs up. Yes, good way to say, good way to word it. Yeah, but Cheryl, I'm just really just these are thoughts on my mind, things I want to talk about. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thank you for the two people watching. Like I said, this is just a live stream, late night live stream, midnight live stream. I know folks are doing stuff and got things going on. I think it's important not to think too much of ourselves and whatnot, and not to have pride and all those things come into the mix and whatnot. What's going on, Caroline? I appreciate you for coming through. I believe in exercising humility at the workplace, in relationships, strangers that we meet in the streets. You can learn more from the lowly, from the destitute, from the homeless, sometimes than you can from people that are proud and high-minded. No, it's all good. It's all good. Appreciate it, Cheryl. Thank you for hitting the like button. And I encourage all three of the people that are here now to hit the like button, and folks that have come by and just been in and out and whatnot. So like I said, I appreciate you folks for just doing that particular thing. Thank you, Caroline. I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm not trying to preach to anybody. I'm not trying to talk down to anybody. It's just a situation where it doesn't hurt to be humble. It doesn't even though like one of the songs from Kendrick Lamar with Rihanna, in Loyalty, it says in this one of the songs in the bridge of the song, she's singing, Rihanna singing, it's so hard to be humble, and it is. It is hard to be humble sometimes. It's hard because sometimes you may feel like you know more than another person, or you better than another person, or somebody may infuriate you and get you to the point where you puffed up and saying, look at all my accomplishments, look at all the things that I've done. How dare you talk to me this way? I will show you. You better know King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Yeah, actually admitting you're not wise makes you wiser. Thank you. I appreciate that, Yas Poet. But realistically, I had to learn that. Like, I'm not as wise as as I want to be. I'm not, as talented and as skillful as I wish I was. Some people they get a little bit of fame, they get a little bit of money, they get a little touch of success, and next thing you know, they all up in the clouds and they being exalted, and they're putting themselves on the pedestal. And be careful to put yourself on the pedestal, especially, be careful who you let put you up on the pedestal, but sometimes people have to learn that the hard way, because folks will let you get all the way up to the top. They'll let you feel yourself. They'll let you think that you somebody special. They'll let you think that, you got all this stuff going on. And then, when it comes, they flip that rug right from up under you. And then they say, yeah, I told you wasn't nothing. And you ain't never going to be nothing. And how dare you try to be better than, I've had people personally try to break me and, tear me down just to show me that I ain't nobody, I ain't nothing, I ain't better than them, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But if you humble yourself and you say, you know what, I never came into the situation acting like I was better than you. And if I was, I apologize. I apologize for any discrepancies or any high-mindedness, that may come. No problem, Yas Poet. Thank you for sharing, your song and whatnot. I appreciate that Marvin Gaye rendition. That was cool. That was definitely cool. The Inner City Blues. There you go. Make me wanna holler what they do in my life. This ain't living. This ain't living. No, no, this ain't living. Anyway, nah. But that's a dope rendition, dope song. Appreciate you, Yas Poet. You know how that goes. That's me trying to sing. My voice is not as good as yours, but it is. Being confident and cocky are two different things. I agree with you, Cheryl. There's nothing wrong with being confident. There's nothing wrong with having the belief in your own ability. Of course, not more than any others, but nothing wrong with that. Being cocky, being arrogant, being high-minded, being overly sure of yourself, it's a problem. Because at any moment, with you being in your strongest, that can change. Fortunes can change. There's always somebody stronger. There's always somebody smarter. There's always somebody better looking. There's always somebody wiser. There's always somebody more spiritual. There's always somebody more negative and more grimy and willing to go there. We need that confidence to succeed. Yeah, you need confidence to succeed, but then you have sometimes you can have a thin line between the confidence and the arrogance, because just because you succeeded in one moment doesn't mean you're going to succeed in the next moment. You may have to switch up the tactics. You may have to be humble. There's times where things have happened for me and I have to be reminded, hey, look, this isn't always the way things are going to go. Well, of course, arrogance is never okay. Yeah, no, arrogance is never okay, but sometimes people take that confidence and they turn it into arrogance, and then they have to be humble. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being humble. There's nothing wrong with being humble. Now, you don't want to be overly humble. You don't want to be so modest that you can't take credit for things that you've done. Now, if you've done something great and you've succeeded or got the victory and overcome the obstacles, or survived cancer or something, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, graduated from college or high school, or passed the test that you was trying to pass. There's nothing wrong with being gracious or cheerful about it. Have a good night as well, Yas Poet. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you, brother. Namaste to you. Yeah, but and greetings, to you. I mean, same thing, but take care. Later. For the most part. I don't know, Cheryl. It's just really about who you are as a person, and just seeing yourself at any given time, knowing that we're imperfect beings. We have challenges, we have struggles, we have things that we go through, stuff that need to be worked on, expressed, and checked out and whatnot. It's just, and then it's also too important for the youth, for the the younger generations and whatnot. Like I said, I know my nieces and nephews, they watch me and see me. It's important to have the humility there to let them know, hey, look, just because you do something good, or you may achieve a certain thing, you don't want to boost yourself up and make yourself more important than you are. I think that's it. We are as persons. Yeah, Cheryl. That, I mean, that's definitely a part to it as well. But it's also understanding that we have our imperfections. As strong as we can be, there's weakness in us. There's impurities in us that we constantly have to check. There's vices, there's sins, there's lust, desires, and stuff like that. David B. Gaiman, thank you for coming through. Appreciate you for stopping by. There's a necessity, behind having humility. It keeps us grounded. It keeps us insulated in certain situations. Not exposed to the elements all the time. It's like this light over here that I have. There's an insulation that's needed. To keep the line, the electricity grounded. Once you expose yourself to too much, and the elements and the rain and the dust and the mildew, you can easily be damaged and whatnot. And that's what happens sometimes with humility. Not having enough humility in life causes us to be exposed to our own ego, our own desires, our own lust, the lust and desires of the world. And we boast ourselves and put ourselves up on pedestals, allow people to put us on pedestals, and find ourselves in a situation where we're being exposed to things, and in the situations where we can get hurt and belittled, and really messed up in a way when we don't have to be. It is something about saying, okay, if you did a great thing, there's nothing wrong with doing a great thing, and being, celebrated for it, but not taking it and then, you know, making it more than what it is. I understand the point. I think it's good that you address these issues. Absolutely. Well, Cheryl, I'm just talking about it because, like I said, these are things on my mind, stuff that I want to, really hint on. I don't know if anybody else on YouTube is trying to really talk about it. I'm feeling kind of down. This is why a good Bible verse I've been looking for. One, if you have any ideas, if you've been down, a good Bible verse for those that have been down. Let me see what I got in here for those that have been down. I gotta find something in here. I just gotta look at my book, see what's going on. Comfort, comfort. You've been down. Comfort, correction, courage. You've been down. You've been down. I don't know if you want to go to courage. Disappointment. No. I guess we go to courage. 27. You know, 27. Having the courage to face things and whatnot. You've been down. Let's see. Um, it says courage. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and He shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say on the Lord. Psalms 27:14. It says another one. For the Lord loveth the judgment and forsaketh not his saints. They are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. Psalms 37:28. Let me see. I don't know if that one is good. Mm, 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 mm. It says, trust in the Lord and do good, so thou shalt dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Psalms 37:3. Take care, Carolina. Appreciate you. All right. Thanks for stopping by. No problem. Okay. Here we go. He says, He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, He increaseth strength. Isaiah 40:29. And then there's the last one before I go, because like I said, I just asked for a scripture, so I said, let me give you one. It says, be of good courage, and He shall strengthen your heart, and all ye hope in the Lord. Psalms 31:24. Hopefully that was something, you know. But yeah, not to get too crazy, because I know how people get when it gets to the whole, scriptures and all that stuff. Like I said, not to get religious and all this other stuff, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna act like I don't have any of that going on with me and whatnot. Like that's not there. I say it like this: if you can get vulgar, if you can get crazy, it is what it is. But you could also do it. I like reading this to the Bible. Yeah, Carolina, this is what it is. Hey, what's up, Click? You just missed me doing the Bible reading. But like I said, it was access by request, so I got no problem with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with believing. Nothing wrong with having that go down. But yeah, Click. What we was talking about is just humility and stuff like that, and how important it is to have, and not putting, so much, emphasis on, our accolades and whatnot. Yeah, yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Amen to that. Amen to that. Like I said, I'm not trying to get too preachy or nothing like that. This is just me talking and have a conversation. I'm not saying, and the Lord said, nah, nah. I mean, hopefully this conversation is making any sense. But like I said, for those that's coming in and just came in, it's just about humility, just understanding, not being too full of yourself and too high-minded. If you do something great, there's nothing wrong with celebrating that and acknowledging the greatness or, the good thing that you did, but not putting too much emphasis in it. If you get money, if you get fame, if you get accolades, don't celebrate yourself more than other folks are celebrating you. And that's just what that is and where I was coming from with that particular type of situation and whatnot. I'm surprised I had this many people in the chat, this long and whatnot. Like Eddie Murphy versus Vampire in Brooklyn. Evil, evil is good. That's funny. Unless you've been raised in another religion, but all is great. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Cheryl, I think this is a message, a live stream that folks can really get with. I just used, my examples because that's what I had right there. That's just how I get down and I give it up my truth. Everybody has their own truth and how they, do things particularly, but it's the truth for me. So, how I believe is that it is a challenge to be humble sometimes. It's hard to be humble, as far as in the face of, our own arrogance, our own ego, our own, and accolades or whatever the case may be. But it's important because you don't want to get carried away with your own self. You don't want to get carried away with the celebrated nature, of society. Especially with our celebrities. Sometimes people celebrate mediocrity and everything like that. So it's important not to get lost in that. It's important not to find yourself in a situation where you're pumping yourself up just for whatever. There's actually nothing wrong with it. However, you get their love. Um, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, though. You know what I'm talking about, Cheryl. Like I said, everybody has different things that they believe in and stuff like that. But I believe that folks should be humble. Some folks should be modest. I mean, there's times when you're gonna boast, you're gonna brag. There's both times when you're gonna get a little carried away. Fine. Even if you get a little carried away, pull yourself back. Sometimes you're gonna talk your stuff. I mean, I've been there too. Sometimes I'm gonna talk my stuff. I'm gonna say my thing and I'm gonna talk my stuff. But I gotta remember, after I'm talking my stuff and saying my thing, there's consequences to that and there's repercussions to it. There's a humility that needs to come behind the accolades, the good thing that happened, or the great thing that I did, or the supposed great thing, the alleged love or fame that came behind it, or whatever, celebrate the nature of it. And there's a other side to it because for all the things that do work out, there's things that don't work out. Sometimes you have to be willing to learn as much from your losses as you learn from your wins. As you learn from the times when everything is great, when everything is, going your way, because things don't always go our way. So how are you when things are down? When the chips are down, when things are dire, when you're in situations where unforeseen circumstances have befell you, who are you then? That's where humility takes place. That's when you have to realize that, hey, you know what? If I'm down and out in the dumps in the low point, it doesn't mean it's over. I can pull, claw, scratch myself up, and that's where the exalted part comes in. If you're in your low, destitute state, if you're in a situation where you got some bad breaks and stuff like that, it's a situation where if you understand what you have in your hand, you understand the blessings that are around you, you understand the fortunate things that you've been afforded, you can begin to claw and scratch and get yourself up, off the pity pot. You can begin to say, you know what, maybe things ain't as bad as they seem. Maybe there's a direction, maybe there's a way this is going to go. Maybe I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. The silver, the silver line into the dark cloud, all those cliches, but real things behind those, the stuff that means something, the tangible things, the things of substance or whatever the case. And then there was Road King. I did not expect you to be here, Road King. I did not expect you to be here, but I appreciate you, but yeah, it's important to be humble. It's important not to be so full of yourself, you know, like, because things could change, fortunes change in any moment, any moment. You know what I'm saying? It could be somebody. I've seen it, and I work around rich people all the time. I've seen people up here one day, and then, you know, you see them 6 months later, they down here in the dumps, you know. They're trying to figure out, you know, like I said, where they could get a free meal or something, like how get clothing or shelter or something. You know, it happens. It happens. That's why the humility is there to keep us balanced, to keep us sure, not to, you know, like I said, get us ahead of ourselves. You know, as the saying goes, you get a little too big for your britches and stuff like that. So, you know, that's just kind of how that works and how that happens and whatnot. You know, but I don't want to get a little too big for my britches in this live stream. You know, I think personally, remember to be appreciative of life and the way you have. Nothing is promised. We gotta at least maintain 3 watches. Yes, I appreciate that, Road King. I've been steadily maintaining 3 watches. The Road King standard. I appreciate you, Road King. Definitely, I'm humbled by your presence here, man. Appreciate that. You know, but humility is key. There's times when I've been humbled, and you know, me just being humbled is guided me a lot of blessings, just because people have seen that, oh wow, you appreciate, you know, the things that's afforded to you. You know, even the struggle. Sometimes people don't appreciate the struggle, what's going on, and then, hey, yeah, thank you for coming through. You know, I know she's a humble person that appreciates the struggle and the things that she's been through, and you know, the things that folks got to go through and whatnot. You know, like I said, this is really about being appreciative. You know, this is really about understanding that you need that balance. You know, because me, like I said, I ain't as wise, I ain't as strong, I ain't as beautiful, I ain't as funny, I ain't as talented as I would like to be. There's people that are 10 times more talented than me, 10 times more funny than me. There's people that got more views, more subscribers, more money, all kind of stuff going on. You know, me, like I said, I'm just grateful for what I got. I'm grateful for the audience that I have. I'm grateful for the folks that just take the time out to pay attention to me, even if it's for 5 seconds. One, two, three, four, five. I know I lost somebody, but you know, like I said, it's what it is. I'm thinking of taking a dive. People. Oh, okay. No, it's all good. You're taking a dive. Hopefully that means you try to get some sleep. You know, but I appreciate you for being here, Len. You know, like I said, I ain't gonna be on here too much longer. But you know, like I said, this is, you know, this humility thing. It balances us. It keeps us, it keeps us steady, because the reality is, you know what? No sleep. No, yeah, yeah. I hope you talk about sleep. You know, like I said, you said you're gonna take a dive. I'm like, off the side of a building. Don't do it. You know, but like I said, dive into that bed with that pillow. You know, make that happen. You know, hashtag make it trend. You know, dive into the sleep, whatever that means. That's a bad joke. Forget that. Scratch that. X that. But yeah, you know, like I said, I mean, in life, you know, it's needed. It's needed. You know, because if you got the arrogance, if you got the high mindedness, if you got the pride, you know, it's always about knowing that, you know, pride cometh before the fall. You know, a lot of times people get all high minded and, you know, big chested and, you know, throwing their chests out there and saying how great they are. Those are people that usually about to take a dive anyway. You know, pie pride. There you go. Funny. And then next month is Pride Month, but we ain't get into that right now. You know, I see you though. Yeah, there's a lot of pride going around, you know. But anyway, let me not get distracted with that. I ain't trying to get in trouble. Yeah, nah, but I think you folks understand where I'm coming from and whatnot. You know, like I said, you know, humility is the key to the balance. You know, the counterbalance to all the nonsense that we do, to the arrogance, to our ego and stuff like that. As you have the ego, the pride, you have the humility, you have the you know, the lowliness, you have the modesty, you have the appreciation for, you know, for life, for the opportunities that you've been afforded. And I constantly have to be reminded. I constantly try to remind myself of the opportunities that I've been afforded, regardless of whatever struggles I've been through, regardless of whatever setbacks that I face, regardless of whatever things that have happened that I may not have been comfortable with, and stuff that I looked at and may have said, oh, why me? Or, you know, how come I can't get what that other person's got? And it's not being envious of them. It's just saying, hey, look, appreciate what you have. Look what's in your hand. Look what's in your environment. Look what's going on and working for you. And I stress that to everybody on the live stream and anybody out there that may listen or watch this in the replay. If you watch this in the replay, thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate what you have. Appreciate what you've been allowed to get. Appreciate what you've worked for and obtained, and not, you know, be so crazy and so willing to just, you know, envy somebody else. And then if you do get something, you know, wow, be humble about it. Yes, I was stabbed in the leg at school. The pencil and his teacher didn't let him go to the office. Wow, wow, wow. That's crazy, Lynn. hopefully Seth is all right. You know, there's some crazy things going on in these schools nowadays. Kids getting stabbed with pencils and stuff like that. Wow. Oh my God. That sounds horrific. I can't imagine when I was a kid what I would have did. I got stabbed with a pencil. That might have been a short day in the school or something. But yeah, hopefully Seth is okay. Oh man. Oh, yeah, sorry to hear that. Thoughts and prayers go out to him and whatnot. You know, tell the little young one to stay strong, man. You know, you got these kids, man. You got this wild generation, man. You know, school shootings and all the kind of things going on. So it was okay, but I laid into the principal. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to lay into that principal. You got your kids getting stabbed with pencils in the school and stuff like that, man. Oof. I don't even know what I would have did in that situation. I could imagine you went in mob and bear mode and you was ready to tear that school up. I could see you now. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know. Oh my God. And then, there's the other kid on the other side, and then the other parent, and how that situation goes down and whatnot. Somebody better practice some humility somewhere in the midst of that situation. So there would be a lot of apologizing. Teachers thought so he wasn't bleeding, he didn't need to go. Woo! Oh, that's the wrong thing. That is the wrong thing. Oh my God. Oof. Oh my God, Lynn. Well, I'm glad that this situation didn't get more out of hand than it did. Hopefully, it didn't get out more out of hand than it did. And don't hurt nobody, Lynn. Don't hurt nobody. As long as Seth is okay, hopefully Seth is okay. Tell the young man I said stay strong out there. And violence is not the answer if you could help it. So say he had to pull the lead out himself. Wow, he had to go Rambo right quick. Like was it Rambo or is it Rambo or Schwarzenegger? Like, like one of those action movies where you get shot and I gotta pull the lead out. Nah, but yeah, nah. Tell Seth to stay strong out there, man. That's crazy. Spirit in the Sky Blue. Mackie is having a gathering right now for Luther. What? He's having a gathering. I don't know what you mean by that. A gathering for lunatic dad. Oh, he's okay. Now he has led to his tattooed knee. Oh wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. He's getting those war scars in school. Like I said, he got the street credibility though. Yeah, tell Seth to say to him, lunatic dad was taken to the hospital for an emergency. Oh man, I gotta check out see what's going on with lunatic dad. Thoughts and prayers with lunatic dad. I tell everybody in the YouTube community, say a prayer for lunatic dad in that situation that he's going through and just getting the updates right now. I gotta get off this live stream and check out what's going on. Yeah, nah, they saying lunatic dad was taken to an emergency room or whatever for something that happened to him. So, all right, let me see what's going on this live stream and whatnot. Thank you everybody for being here. For those people that know Green Bay Wacky, if you don't know Green Bay Wacky, go into the search, type in the search, Green Bay Wacky, chest and pain, fellow who know now, please come see Wacky can. Yeah, okay. Um, I'm gonna come over there now. I'm definitely gonna come over there now. Anybody out there, just go check out Green. It's the Brooklyn way. Later.